to the DolphinsTalk.com podcast, the most listened to daily Miami Dolphins podcast on the internet.
Miami's got the Dolphins, the greatest of all.
Come on, Dolphins fans. Time to fins up.
We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when you say Miami, you're talking Super Bowl. Cause we're the Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one. Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins, Miami Dolphins number one.
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans. How are you today? And thank you for listening to another episode here of the DolphinsTalk.com podcast on this Friday, May the 30th. Hope everyone had a great Friday and now easing into the weekend. I am your host, Mike Oliva, here with another show as we got a lot of news breaking here in the world of the Miami Dolphins. We got more Tyreek Hill drama, Jonnu Smith story. We got some more information out today. Dolphins joint practice information. We got some clarity on that. So we got a lot to talk about. So let's get the business part of this out of the way quick up at the top. First off, if you're watching on YouTube, do me a favor. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment on this video. You want to make sure if you're watching on YouTube, you do all three of those things. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment on the video. Also, shout out to the sponsor of today's show, Caneswear. Everyone go to the website, caneswear.com, for the best and most affordable Miami Dolphins apparel on the internet. If you need a hat, hoodie, jacket, shirt, shorts, swim trunks, windbreaker, anything with the Miami Dolphins logo on it for the house, the home, or something to wear, caneswear.com. If you're in South Florida, stop by their store. Excuse me. At 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. Also, I released an interview on Friday morning with Andrew Marchand, the senior sports columnist at The Athletic. We spoke about all of the NFL TV deals, the upcoming opt-outs, and what that might mean for you, the viewer, and where you're going to be watching these games. Also, we spoke about the ESPN takeover of the NFL Network and when that might be happening, and it might be happening real soon. Check out the interview with Andrew Marchand. It's about 24 minutes or so, roughly. You're not going to want to miss it. A lot of information's in it that you might not hear anywhere else. So check out the Andrew Marchand interview. Also, our Dolphins Talk Military Fan of the Year contest is up and running. If you have served in the military, or if you're serving, or if someone in your family or that you know has served or is serving now and is a big Miami Dolphins fan, you can enter to go to a Miami Dolphins game this year. We supply 2 tickets to the game, a parking pass, and a $100 Visa card to buy food, or if you want to buy a hat or a shirt or something from the game. You can spend it any which way you want. Now, you're responsible for traveling to the game if you're not in the area. So if you got to fly to the game, that's on you. But we give you 2 tickets, a parking pass, and $100. All the information's up on the website. You have to send an email to us at DolphinsTalk1977@gmail.com and just tell us your name, when and where you served or are serving. Write 1 small paragraph on why you should win, and let me know what home game you want to go to. These are for home games only, and you have to let me know which game. So check that out if you're interested in that. All right, with that out of the way, let's get to the news. First off, Barry Jackson of the Miami Herald is reporting that the joint practices are going to break down like this. The Miami Dolphins are going to have 2 joint practices versus the Lions, 1 versus the Bears, and 1 versus the Jaguars. So they're splitting them up, 4 total. The 2 versus the Lions and the 1 versus the Bears are on the road. And there's a chance, because those 2 preseason games are played back-to-back, that Miami, I don't know if they're going to be traveling back and forth. They might just stay up in the Midwest and might find a spot to practice up there. They play Chicago first, probably joint practice with them, preseason games, and they come back 6 days later. I don't know if they're going to be flying back. It's not even 6 days, because if you got 2 versus the Lions, you're only flying back for 1 or 2 days. They might find a spot up someplace in the Midwest and just stay there for a week. So what this means, though, is probably less practices open to the fans in South Florida. That's what this probably means with these joint practices with Lions and Bears. And then the 1 versus Jacksonville, that one should be open to the public, the final preseason game. So that's the joint practice schedule that is now made official. Okay, we got more on Jonnu Smith. Obviously, the big news that broke yesterday, and I did do a podcast about the Jonnu Smith situation and, how this is a reflection on the Miami Dolphins. So check that podcast out yesterday. I dropped that one on Thursday. Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network was on a Pat McAfee show today, and he brought some clarity to this because, when the news broke, it was like, what's going on here? Is it, it was clearly leaked by his agent. Is this a play just to get out of Miami? Is it a pure money grab? Is there more to the story that we don't know? It seems like it's just a pure money grab here by Jonnu Smith, because Ian Rappaport said, and I quote, "I know he wants more money, but would like to stay in Miami. I know he wants a lot." So Jonnu Smith, it's not that he wants out of Miami per se. It's that he just wants a lot of money right now. And he's in the final year of his deal. He's about to turn 30 years old in August. And this is just a money grab. And he wants the money one way or another. And if he's not going to get paid by the Miami Dolphins, trade me now to a team that will give me an extension and a raise now prior to the start of the 2025 season. That seems to be what the story is. And of course, the question is, how much more does he want? I'm guessing if we've gotten this far where Miami is taking calls on trading him or making calls trying to trade him, that they probably already have been talking for weeks, if not longer, and the two sides are not close, which makes me think Miami's at the last resort, which is trading him. So, it is what it is. But, yeah, so I don't think there's any way for them to sort of salvage this or save this. And the other reason is that Adam Schefter report on Thursday did make it sound like Miami had exhausted all options and sides, and they're done talking. That's why they moved on to a trade. Because how many times do you see an Adam Schefter tweet say, about a possible trade, then he actually lists the two teams or the team involved in the trade? That is rare. You might see something put out by Schefter saying, the Philadelphia Eagles are trying to trade so-and-so, and it's like open-ended on who they're talking. This one is very specific. The Pittsburgh Steelers, it's like, so this makes me think they are far along in the process. This has been happening for well over a month or two, and Miami, just can't come to terms with what Jonnu Smith wants. So I'm thinking it probably will be the Pittsburgh Steelers unless another team swoops in here last minute and makes a better trade offer. But I kind of think the die has been cast and Jonnu is not coming back to Miami. I do see some Miami Dolphins fans online, and I think it's more wish casting than anything, hoping than anything that, well, once we trade Ramsey after June 1st, we're going to have more cap space. Then we'll have more money to pay Jonnu. Yeah, I don't think that's the situation here. I think that's actually kind of silly. Miami has the cap space now to give Jonnu Smith a raise and an extension. Like, the money's there. This isn't about Miami needing money per se under the cap. They got money. Yes, they'll have more after they trade Ramsey, but the money's there. It's not like they're so tight up against the cap that they can't afford to trade him, or they can't afford to pay him a raise and extend him a year or two. They're choosing not to. So I don't think this has anything to do with waiting to after Ramsey's traded to get more cap space. This is not a salary cap situation. Miami's actually in a pretty good salary cap situation right now as we speak. So it's not that. One thing I forgot to mention on the show yesterday, because there was it happened so fast and there's so much, and I'm really just flying by the seat of my pants. And one thing afterwards, like, oh, I should have mentioned that. And so I want to talk about it now. To me, this is also further proof that Chris Grier and Mike McDaniel are not on the hot seat. I've heard all offseason, Chris Grier, Mike McDaniel are on the hot seat, this, that, and the other. If they don't win this year, they're gone. They're going to get fired. And I've said this whole offseason, no. I mean, they're just not. And this is just another example. Once again, they could have restructured the contract of Tua Tagovailoa to open up $20 million in salary cap space and then go out there and use $20 million in that space to go buy very good players, help them win games to save their jobs. Did they do that? No. Are they going to trade Ramsey now? Yes. Does that help them win games this year? No. Were they aggressive in trying to keep Javon Holland and some others? No. Were they aggressive in free agency with any of their signings? Honestly, no, unless you think Larry Borum's like a great signing. And even the offensive lineman they signed from Pittsburgh, he's coming off a major injury, and there's a lot of question marks around him and when he'll be ready to go and stuff. They could have reworked the deal of Zach Sealer, made more money under the cap. They did not. Same thing with Jordan Brooks, another very good player. They could have reworked his deal, opened up space under the cap. They did not. Now, one move they've made this offseason has shown they are on the hot seat. And again, I know there are bad faith actors on social media, bad faith actors out there pushing this narrative that they're on the hot seat. They're on the hot seat when not one action that they've taken in the past 5 months says that they're on the hot seat. Actions speak louder than words. Don't be fooled by what people say. Look with your eyes of what's actually happening. And now the fact that they will trade Ramsey here within a week or two. Let you know they're not worried about the secondary clearly. And if they trade Jonnu Smith and that just makes that tight end room absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. Yeah, so they're not on a hot seat. So this is just one more example of that. There's another rumor out there which I want to address because I can see why it's a rumor, actually. I just don't think it's going to happen. With this Jonnu Smith news, as I said, Miami's tight end room is a mess. You got Pharaoh Brown, who's a fine blocker, but it's Pharaoh Brown. He can't catch a pass to save his life. He's not a pass catching threat. Julian Hill's a walking penalty. I know some of the reporters like him. God bless him. I'm just not a big fan. I think most fans just don't have a lot of faith in him. Tanner Connor, unproven, hasn't really shown anything, and there's a few guys behind him, Hayden Rucci and stuff. It's like they have nothing. The tight end if they trade Jonnu Smith, there's literally nothing in that tight end room. Well, the Atlanta Falcons have Kyle Pitts on the trade block, and they're trying to trade him. I don't know what they're looking for compensation wise. Pitts obviously wants a new contract as he's coming up here soon. And a lot of fans think, well, we'll trade Jonnu, get whatever we get back in return, and then turn around and trade for Kyle Pitts. And it's like, no, no, it's like, and here's why. The segment of fans of the Dolphins who say that, not you listening, because you're the smart ones who listen to us. I'm just kidding. I've seen the range of emotions in the past 24 hours or so on Jonnu Smith. First off, after last season, Dolphins fans love Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith is great. Pro Bowl, 88 catches, 8 touchdowns. He's the best. We love him. See, we told you it takes till year 3 for the tight end to work in Miami's offense. Jonnu Smith is God. We love Jonnu Smith. News breaks yesterday afternoon from Adam Schefter that Miami might trade him. Then that segment of fans goes, we don't need him. Our offense only needs a run blocking tight end. We don't need a pass catching tight end. Mind you, 24 hours before, they were throwing rose petals at Jonnu Smith. Now, don't need him. All we need are run blocking tight ends. We don't need pass catching tight ends. Then 24 hours later, we can trade for Kyle Pitts. Maybe let's trade for him. Folks, Kyle Pitts is not a very good blocker. He's not awful, but he ain't good. And he's more of a pass catcher than a blocker. So you go from Jonnu Smith is great. We don't need him. Let's add we're going to be fine with only run blocking tight ends to literally 24 hours later, let's trade for Kyle Pitts. Do some of you actually listen to yourselves? Seriously, do you actually listen to some of the stuff you say? And if you're into PFF, Kyle Pitts last year out of 37 tight ends was ranked 33rd. So yeah, great. Let's go get him. Let's give up a nice pick and get him, and then pay him a big contract too. But all joking aside, knowing Chris Greer, he probably will. Knowing Chris Greer, he'll trade Jonnu Smith for a 6th, then turn around and trade a 4th for Pitts and give him a huge money deal when they could have just gave Jonnu a small raise and not lose any picks. But because that is Chris Greer in a nutshell, and that'd be so on brand for this organization. But I honestly don't think they're going to trade for Pitts. But he is on the trade block, and who the hell knows with Chris Greer if he does trade away Jonnu Smith. Maybe he's got something in the works to then trade for Kyle Pitts. I don't see it happening. I just don't. But again, nothing ever surprises me. Before I get to the last topic of the day, quick shout out to everyone listening at finheaven.com. Everyone go to finheaven.com, largest Miami Dolphins message board on the internet. Also, a shout out to our friends at the I Am a Miami Dolphins fan Facebook page run by the great and talented Carlos Hernandez. If you're on Facebook, please be sure you are a part of the I Am a Miami Dolphins fan Facebook page. And wherever you listen to this podcast, whether Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Audible, or one of the other 100 platforms we're on. Please subscribe. Going to have a show out Sunday night, unless news breaks on. So I have an interview recorded with the reporter I'm waiting to drop. And unless Ramsey's traded like exactly on June 1st, I'll probably drop that one on Sunday night. And then I'm working on a couple more interviews for next week. So be on the lookout for that. Also, sign up for Dolphins Talk Extra. Go to patreon.com/DolphinsTalk. It's $3 a month. Bonus podcasts, private message board, and contest galore where we give away Miami Dolphins apparel, Miami Dolphins autographs, and so much more. And we have extra podcasts, some about the Dolphins, some not. You'll love it. $3 a month. You spend more on a cup of coffee, folks. Trust me. Sign up. Dolphins Talk Extra. Patreon.com/DolphinsTalk. Okay, last topic real quick. Tyreek Hill, always in the news. And you can't go a week without a dumb Tyreek Hill story. A video leaked. I don't know. It seems recent. I don't know exactly when. It looks like Tyreek Hill in the back of a limo bus or something with God knows who, like a handful of other people. And on video, on film, or on a camera phone, I guess you should say, Tyreek Hill said he wanted to knock out Mike McDaniel last year because Mike McDaniel wasn't calling plays that threw him the ball in a game. This is coming off a video last week at a private workout where Tyreek Hill said he wants 2,000 yards this upcoming season. This is the problem in a nutshell with Tyreek Hill and with the Miami Dolphins. I don't want to hear them preach anything about culture as long as this guy's on the team. Tyreek Hill, knock out your coach. Again, I'll get to if he's trolling or if he's for real later. But this is the problem. Tyreek Hill's in it for Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill only cares about Tyreek Hill. And, he's mad in the game. Who knows if it was a game they were winning or losing because he's not seeing the ball enough. And Tyreek Hill this year, his goal is to get 2,000 yards. Be damned if the Dolphins are 6-11. I got 2,000 yards. He only cares about himself. The Miami Dolphins culture is broken. And until he, specifically, Tyreek Hill is gone, this team has no chance of winning. I am hopeful Miami can trade him at the trade deadline, late October, early November, whenever it officially is this year. I don't care what the Dolphins' record is. They could be undefeated. Get rid of this asshole, okay? The sooner he's gone, the better. Can't win with a guy like this and his attitude on the team. I'm not saying you need a bunch of guys who go to church and that are altar boys, but this right here is poison. And I don't want to hear he's only trolling. That excuse with him doesn't work anymore. Well, Tyreek's a troll. He's just trolling. Can't take it seriously. You know what? That excuse has worked in the past. Anytime Tyreek gets caught and anytime Tyreek is acting like a jerk. Oh, he's just trolling. No. He's lost the benefit of the doubt. He won. He probably was. He probably did want to punch out Mike McDaniel last year in a game because he wasn't seeing the ball enough. And the excuse that he's only trolling is anytime he gets called out on his bullshit or he gets caught on tape like this. Now, I mean, let's be honest. If you're Tyreek Hill, how much of an idiot do you have to be to say into a camera phone or something that you wanted to knock out your head? I mean, you got to be next level stupid in this day and age where everyone's got a camera phone. And I mean, I don't care how drunk you are. I don't care you got to be, that is next level stupid to put, even if you have that thought inside, even if it almost keep it private. I mean, the level of stupidity never ceases to amaze me with this guy. And they're not going to win with him. They're not. I know he's a great player. He's going to Canton Hall of Fame, the best wide receiver that they have had in the history of their organization, the Dolphins. Two things can be true, and all those things are true. Best wide receiver in the history of the Dolphins, great player going to Canton. Those are true. You know what else is true? He's a jerk, and he's hurting his team more than he's helping it. That's true as well. And I know, once again, segment of Dolphins fans don't want to hear it. Not hating, just stating the truth, folks. You're not going to win with this guy. He's only in it for himself. He doesn't care about the team. He's only in it for Tyreek. Sorry, not sorry. That's the truth. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to today's show. As always, go to the website, DolphinsTalk.com. We got a bunch of new great articles up you will want to read, a bunch of new podcasts. Like I said, check out the Andrew Marchand interview. It's awesome. Andrew's the best in the business in his field. In fact, he gave us a few minutes to come on and help explain the NFL TV stuff going on and happening in that world and all the changes that might be coming really soon that you might not be aware of, you're going to want to listen to that interview. Also, our military contest for the Dolphins Talk Military Fan of the Year, where we send one either current serving member or someone who has served who's a fan of the Dolphins to a Miami Dolphins home game this year. All the information's up on the website and up on my social media at Dolphins Talk. And wherever you're listening to this podcast, subscribe. Everyone, have a great Friday night. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you again after a while. And folks, please don't forget, we must put an end to highway profanity. Hey everyone, Mike here from DolphinsTalk.com. Real quick, I just want to give a thank you for watching this video. Please be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Also, just want to say thank you for all the support you provide us here at DolphinsTalk.com and have over the many years. We thank you. It's much appreciated. Without you, there would be no us. I know there are so many other podcast options out there these days, whether it's true crime, the NBA, Major League Baseball, news, politics, and of course, other Miami Dolphins podcasts as well. We really do appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day, each and every day, to watch our stuff here at DolphinsTalk.com. Also, if you like this show and want more content from us, please be sure to sign up for Dolphins Talk Extra. Go to patreon.com/Dolphins Talk. We have a private message board where you can interact with only extra members and ourselves here, the staff at the website. We have extra podcasts about the Dolphins and also extra podcasts not about the Miami Dolphins. And we give away a ton of prizes. We have a ton of contests that are exclusive to Dolphins Talk Extra members. We give away autographs, memorabilia, jerseys, hats, all that fun stuff. So everyone, please be sure to go to patreon.com/Dolphins Talk. It's $3 a month. It's really cheap. You'll have a lot of fun. Trust me. But once again, thank you so much. Everyone, have a great day.